sorry, from 17 once again. This is a Balls Deep of One Piece Unlimited World R, I think it's called. Without further ado, let's get in there. So this is a licensed game. That is another PlayStation 3 game, PlayStation 4 maybe, Wii U, and I think that is it. I haven't played too much of it, as you can see. I've put in about 4 hours. This is a really interesting game for me. I am a big fan of One Piece. I have the very first edition manga of the story back when it first hit my country. I watched the first few seasons of the anime when it first hit Cartoon Network in this country. I was a big One Piece fan, and then I kind of left it a little bit. I kind of forgot it and moved away from it and did other things. And then recently I went back to it and I was watching the anime. I watched it all the way up to where the Japanese dub was, and I'm not a big fan of Japanese dubs. I'm one of those controversial anime fans who actually likes the English ones. I'm not going to get into that though, because it's one of those widely covered debates. And then I moved to the manga, and I finished the manga up to the point where it is. And then I've been waiting for a game to play, and lo and behold, this one was coming out, and I managed to get my hands on it via the rental service, and I managed to play it a little bit. And I wasn't expecting much, because pretty much the only representation for One Piece so far have been almost Dynasty Warriors-esque adventures with a little bit more platforming and slightly different story progression in them, but still nothing truly worthwhile of the license, I feel. And then I played this. So this is a really strange game. We're in a hub world here, which is where we've arrived on this island. The storyline is unique to the game, and I believe it was overseen by the guy who does who created One Piece, so it's legit. And we talk to this lady here. She owns the inn. You'll also notice it's in Japanese with subtitles, this game, so if you're a fan of the Japanese dub, you might spot some voices that you've seen. And once again here we have this theme of expansion. This is a hub world for us to go and do missions from. We can rest here, we can store items, or we can expand. And when you expand, if you look on the right, we can develop land by accruing these certain requirements, and these things are items that you pick up from missions, or items that you can get through fishing and catching animals, and all sorts of crazy mini games the game allows. And you're expanding the town to fit your needs, to do all these different things like building factories and opening restaurants, and it's this awesome RPG like detail in a game that is pretty much kind of a brawler, kind of a Mashy-esque game with a couple of skills and side quests to be done, and an interesting traversal where you can use Luffy's Gum Fruit to stretch his limbs and go quite fast around the city by pressing triangle on things. And I assume the more we play, we'll expand across to that part of the island as well. And there's this impression of real progression. And I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought you'd just pick your level, get into it, it'd be really generic. But it has quite a lot of charm, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So we're going to move into a mission now, and I'll show you what the main gist of the game is. And you usually get into missions by going over here. But the visual style, as you can see, is very honest to the anime. It's cel-shady, it's got that character to it. Where did I get to? I think I got to there, Fishman Island. Coral Hill, maybe? As you can see, I've got Sanji with me and Usopp. So can we pick anybody else? Could do Zoro, could do Nami, good old Chopper. I don't think I've used Brook too much yet, so let's go good old Luffy, because he's kind of like a fan favourite. Sanji, because he's got his goatee, because it's post the break, and we'll go with Brook. And one of the most interesting parts of the game so far is just how much you get to play as the different characters. I didn't really expect them to feature the full ensemble, and the combat is not as deep as I would like. It could be considerably deeper, but it's still pretty interesting. And you have your light attacks, and then you have your heavy attacks, where Luffy can moderate what he does. And I believe there's your dodge. The dodge is something that I have to contend with because it's not great at all, and obviously you can jump. That's your fishing rods. One of them does your special, but we don't have any at the moment. But you can do a mixture of different combos, and you can do aerial attacks and aerial juggles. There is a little bit of depth, but it's still pretty much Streets of Rage, and I wish there was more, and there could be more. And of course you can change characters, which... How the fuck do I do it now? There you go, you press back to change characters. So now we're Sanji. Of course, he's going to use his feet because he's a kicker. And I just think the animations are really nice, the visuals are really nice, the music is great. It's very honest to the series, and I like that a lot. I don't know why his triangle does the skywalk for. Can you chain it? No, you can't. And then, of course, we have Brook, who is a swordsman as well. Doing his little spinny blade. But it's kind of simple, and that's the worst part about it for me. I think this game could be fantastic if it had the depth of something like a Devil May Cry or a God of War. And I think the traversal in it is just innocent enough for it to be fun, and just entertaining enough for it not to get too boring. Because be under no illusion here, guys, this is kind of a pretty repetitive game, unless you're a big fan of One Piece or you like kind of mindless brawlers. You don't really do much else except for exploring and breaking things and fighting things. It's kind of the limit to most of the stuff. But I really like it, and I like that they've tried, and I know that sounds like a horrendous compliment. It's like, imagine on the box if the slogan, you know, from the critics was, "It definitely is a game." Like, oh well, what else was it going to be, you know, a soppy hand? I wonder if there's anything actually here. Because I'm picking up normal rice and finding things, but I'm not seeing... Ah, here we go. Shit's just kicked off. So, here are a couple of the mermen. You'll notice that your team does a very good job of fighting for you. And you can gangbang people quite easily. I think this is a throw. However, you've got to be careful because it's not got the best detection, yeah. They're doing too good of a job. But on the right-hand side, do you see how it's got that list of combos? Not only is that an example of some of the things you can do, but it will give you a bonus if you do it. But doing it when your team are kicking ass is very difficult because they get iframes on the floor. Can I do it while I'm not hitting anything? No, I have to hit things. Makes sense, doesn't it? But look at them, I don't even have to play at this point, they're kicking ass. But, back to what I was saying, I've played a lot of licensed games that I've played because I loved the license and they weren't any good, you know? You have to be deluded to think they were. Here we go, this is some of the most hilarious parts of this game. How do I do this again? Oh, come on, Chris, remember. It's got a center camera, so Big Benedict will be happy. Not that, dickhead. Aha! Up on the D-pad. I pressed every button but. So I can't remember how to do this, but it's hilarious. You can catch animals and they do something for you, and you do this little hilarious minigame to do it. Can I not catch you? Come on, dude. Yes! So you have to tap the buttons before they get out of the middle. Oh my god, that's fast. Here we go. Get them reflexes going. Yeah, and we got it. Now we can see what we get. So here's your little bonus slot. Oh, I suck. I got no bonus. But we got, what is it? There you go. Dr. Hornet. A bee with a body like a syringe. It has medicinal fluid stored inside of its body. And he was 21 centimeters. So there's these little mini games of fishing and bug catching and creature catching that just break up some of the tedium of the fighting, and it's all got this charm about it, which, if you like One Piece, you're probably going to be like me and you can put up with a lot of it. There are no difficulties for people wanting challenge. The bosses are quite tricky because they do very wide sweeping attacks that do a lot of damage, and the game doesn't really punish death too much, so it's kind of relaxed on it all. Special soapy fluid. Oh my goodness. Really? That's what you wanted to translate that into? Oh my goodness. But at this moment in time we don't have a mission, so we're just kind of traversing through an area I've already fought my way through in the story. And it was just to give you an example of what the game does when you're playing. But you can come back and farm things like I'm doing here, getting more of that awfully titled stuff. Oh, here we go, Robins. So there's Water Road as well. This is a new character that I believe is unique to this fiction. I haven't seen any of the One Piece movies, so I don't think he's from any of that. I think he's original. So apparently we can do some interesting things with the stream. So let's see where it takes us. I love Luffy. He's so happy. I had a really good ritual going as well with One Piece where once I'd finished, you know, making videos or spending time with my girlfriend or doing any of the other things that you can do, when it got to, you know, late and I wanted to go to bed, I'd just lay in my bed, I'd put on some episodes of One Piece and then I'd watch a couple and then I'd just, you know, go to bed. And I had this really just cathartic ritual of I assume that's the laugh. A couple of translation things you'll notice as well on this game. They refer to the crew, just like they do in the manga, as I think it's Nakami or something like that. It's a word I've never heard of, and the context that they use it in could only mean crew, which is one of those interesting idioms, I guess. Well, that was a short area. Pop the oh, here we go. Big lads. See if we can do some combos. So the 4-hitter. That was the 4-hitter. Oh, there's a counter. See if we can do a counter. The counter is horrendous, but it's nice that... What is he doing? And it gives you an opening to counter. The thing I love is... Oh, how do I do it? There's a way to turn Lummy into the big fat awesome thing. And I can't remember for the life of me what it is. It's not that. I could swear. I think it's when something fires a projectile at you. It's a context-sensitive evade, so Luffy kind of does what he wants, but he'll inflate himself into that huge fat version that he uses to bounce cannonballs back, and it is amazing. A couple of criticisms as far as the combat goes. Because it is so simple, it seems to be missing some of the more interesting aspects of it. You'll notice that Luffy has the scar on his chest and he is wearing the outfit which is associated with after the training that he got at the hands of, you know, Roger's crewman. I forget his name. So we don't have the ability to use the... I can't remember the name of that thing that those people have. You know, it's a natural skill that people have. It's like a chi, effectively. And it enables them to channel power into the body to do these otherworldly skills, and... Luffy uses it to go into the different into the different gears and to harden his body, and it's something called like the Emperor's Shout. I think the translation of it is, and I think the only person who had it as powerful as Luffy in the manga was Roger himself or something along those lines. I'm probably misrepresenting it, guys. It's been a while since I read it, and I read the manga rapidly, so I was doing, you know, binge sessions, so it can be a little bit more challenging to remember. But there doesn't seem to be any of those at this moment in time. I'm not saying that you won't get them later on, because there are ways to customise your character and give him more abilities. So maybe in the future you'll be able to do those awesome skills where he can move faster and can do those. Is it Gum Gum Elephant Gun? That massive black fist he gets that looks like Popeye made of iron. See, who's going to miss these counters? You'd have to be dead to not see them because they're so slow. But there's a... I want to do the throw and I can't land it at all. There we go. And then you can follow it into the air, and sometimes you can launch them with... and then go back and juggle them. So there's certain interesting things. But there's a stickiness to the combat as well, where in a game like Bayonetta, every attack feels like you're pressing the button for it to happen. On this game, you can kind of get lost in the inputs because they don't correlate to your presses as well. When you slow them down a little bit and you do the Gatling punches like I did just then, it feels a lot better. Let's fight somebody else for a little bit. Sanji's kicking some ass there. Does he have a launcher? I can't remember. What's that? Oh no, he has that crazy air step move. Oh, it's a dude. Oh, and we get a treasure box. So all the time that this is happening, the characters are talking, and I can't really say that the writing is brilliant, but it's got a lot of the humour from the series. Be very dangerous when playing as Nami or Robin. They're the most distracting characters on the game because for some reason they're so well endowed. I never really remember them being quite so, shall we say, womanly in the comics. And that's considering that in the Alabaster Saga, Nami pretty much flashed her bits in the sauna after they'd beaten Crocodile to the crew and made everybody's nose bleed, including the king. Yet, on this game, she has, like, super fake tits. It's insane. And it's all you can see, man. One of the things I really liked about the manga was just how tasteful he was with that kind of aspect, because a lot of mangas seem to, you know, childlessly pander to the overall horniness of teenage boys, and he kind of stayed away from it too much. No, that's not even what I wanted to say. He stayed away from it tastefully. There was never a moment where I thought he overstepped a boundary, or there was nudity for the sake of nudity. I thought it was always either to be part of the humour, or to further the storyline. You know, Nami was very cunning, very exploitative of the crew and of their more baser instincts, and she used it to get ahead in life, which is clever and stereotypical, but quite true as well. This guy's huge. What does Sanji do to counter? Oh, he's got a dodge. Oh wow, you see that? I'm still getting hit. Because he's got wicked poise, apparently. Interesting enemy type, that one. But it's pretty mindless stuff. It's one of those games I can only really recommend if you really like brawlers or if you really like One Piece. If you have no interest in either, you might find something that you enjoy in the RPG aspects, but you're going to be doing a lot more of what you're seeing right now, and I respect the fact that this perhaps isn't the most interesting thing to watch, and for a lot of people it probably isn't the most interesting thing to do either. But there's a charm to it, much like I played the Fist of the North Star Dynasty Warriors games. The gameplay was pretty shit, but there's a charm to it because I love Fist of the North Star. Same as Gundam Wing and the Gundam series. I really like them, so I played those games. Out of all of them, I think this is the best, because it actually has a decent game in there. It's just some aspects of it are quite repetitive, and yeah, that is One Piece Unlimited World Red. Available now for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 and Wii U, I believe. Shame it didn't go to the 360, or you would probably see me cover a lot more of this game. Mainly because I always have my 360 hooked up, so it's easier, there's achievements and various other reasons. But there you go. I think it's kind of cool, and I was really surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that there is one One Piece game, at least, that isn't complete shit. And there may be others that I haven't tried. I'm sure people will let me know in the comments, but this one to me stands out as just a fun jaunt into the universe of a really well visualised One Piece. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.